let's try a new perspective this time. Welcome to my car. It's Thursday morning. I'm just about to drive to Den Helder. As you see, I'm in my uniform. And I wanted to try this and see if the video is not too shaky, because then in the morning I can have a little chat while driving. And yeah, tell you something about my projects, about my day, and take you with me to Den Helder. Yeah, what to tell? I took part in another testnet. I applied for the Cara Wrap by the Creabea. And since I was already lucky last time with my last testnet for the tank top, I was kind of doubting I would be chosen this time. I would get a spot for the Cara Wrap, but I really liked it, and I wanted to make a wrap for the longest time. But I applied anyway, because if you don't try, you can't get selected. And I actually cleared up quite some needles because I finished the surprise sock along, and I was hesitant to cast something on because I was thinking, well, what if I get selected for the Cara Wrap? Then I want to put that on the needle straight away. I didn't have any yarn yet because I said I wanted to make a sparkly Christmas edition. So I kept that in the back of my head, and then when the mail finally came through on Tuesday, I was really excited and immediately ordered some yarn, and I'm actually waiting for it now. It should be in the mail today. I ordered some Drops Air. It's a blown yarn in black, and some glittery thread to go with it. So let's hope it will look nice. It's the first time trying Drops Air. I was looking into all kind of already glittery yarn. There's one from Katja Concept, but it's sold in balls of 25 grams, and I did the calculation, and it would cost me over 80 euros to make. And I thought, well, that's at this point in time, I don't want to spend that much money on a sparkly wrap testnet. So I chose a more budget-friendly option. And it's not that I don't have enough yarn in stash. I would have had yarn in stash, but maybe for a second one, because I saw some lovely silvery grayish ones or swatches in the testnet group, and I could very well imagine having one that's a little longer or something. Let's see, because I don't really have many cardigans, so this is something I really need in my autumn wardrobe. But okay, let's start with the Cara Wrap. So I'm dying to cast that on once to cast on the swatch. Let's start with that. And in the meanwhile, I just cast on some gift socks. I bought a skein of Mylan White tweed when I was in Germany the other week, and these are gonna be plain vanilla socks for a dear friend of mine who just moved back from the other end of the world they're gonna move to Germany. Still far away, but I thought as a moving in present and being back in Europe present, I wanted to make him some socks. He doesn't know and probably doesn't watch this podcast, so it's safe to say. Yeah, so I cast those on, and I just did 20 rows of 1x1 ribbing, but I did the twisted ribbing. And now I know again why I hate it, because it takes ages somehow. It really doesn't go well with my knitting flow. So I did 20 rows of 1x1 twisted rib, and now it's just now I'm making a sock tube out of the rest. and I'm putting in an afterthought heel just because I've never done it, and knitting in the round just more or less mindlessly. I'm trying to train myself to do stockinette in the round without looking, and it's going pretty well this far. This is a really nice yarn to do it with. It feels a little rusticy, so I hope it isn't too scratchy on the feet. Yeah, but I got to around row 60 rows in last night, just watching telly, and I'm by no means a fast knitter, just easy knitting away, watching podcasts, because there was nothing on the television. We're not big at watching shows at this moment. Not into Netflix series yet again, maybe back in winter, so it's nice to, my husband then is reading, and I'm listening to podcasts with one ear, so I have the other towards him, free. Yeah, well, that's what's on my mind right now. And now we're heading to Den Helder. It's about a 50-minute drive, and it's actually not that far. It's only 40 odd kilometers, but it's all country roads, or not need high, well, say country roads. It's all roads where you can max drive 80 or 100 kilometers an hour. One lane, so no highway, or like they said in Germany, Autobahn. So yeah, that takes a while, and sometimes if you're unlucky you have a tractor in front of you. It's quite a rural area here, and yeah, there's a lot of farming and flower bulb farming going on. So we have a lot of flower bulb fields, and this is really, really pretty in spring. And then around autumn it's all cabbages, so white cabbage, red cabbage. It grows a lot here, because this area where we live used to be submerged. We're below sea level here, and this was all a swampy area, and apparently the soil is really great for growing cabbages of all sorts. Yeah, so we do that usually. Right now I have a posting in Den Helder. My husband has a posting in The Hague, so that's the other way around. His commute is way longer than mine, unfortunately. And before, we both had postings in Den Helder, and we would just drive together every morning, or at least he would drive and I would sit next to him, sipping my tea and knitting on socks or something. At least once I started knitting. Yeah, and now we have to both drive in different directions. And since I have to drive alone now, I usually have I usually put on an audiobook to listen to while I drive, because I don't care so much about the radio in the morning. And at the moment I have the app Storytel, and so you pay a monthly fee, and then you can listen to anything that's on there, so there's no limit on it. And at the moment I'm listening to The Seven Sisters by Lucinda Riley. I must admit I wouldn't have bought the 7 books, but listening to it is actually quite nice. And I'm in the middle of the first sister, so I'm learning all about Rio de Janeiro, about the Cristo on top of Corcovado Mountain, and yeah, it's actually quite nice to listen to in the car. So once I get to Den Helder, I have to, the department where I work, because we work with classified information, it's behind a really thick door, like a vault door, so you have to press a code to come in. And so I let myself in and get the keys to my office that are also in a kind of a key storage where you have to put in a code. And then I'll have some coffee. I would say we have decent coffee at work. Not the best, but certainly not the worst. And then I'll catch up with a colleague that I haven't seen because I was off for 4 weeks for summer leave. And I haven't spoken to her since because she wasn't in the days I was in the office this week. Since the kids are still at home and we're quite short-handed, I would almost say, on childcare. Usually once or now twice a week they go, after school they go to this program at school where they're looked after, and once we're done with work we can pick them up after school, so daycare or after school care. And we don't have that at the moment. There's still 2 this week and next week of holiday. And so we split up, my husband and I, that always one of the parents is working from home, from the home office. And they're really flexible with that at work. It's starting up slow after summer leave. And so we manage quite well to be at home, either one of us. Just make sure that the kids don't kill each other or burn down the house while we sit in the attic and working. And sometimes, or now every day almost, my mother-in-law comes in for a bit. Usually she is our #1 top child carer. She's the best in the world. But she had, how do you call it? She had a really nasty lung infection, a lung inflammation, we say pneumonia on both lungs. And she doesn't have the energy yet, and that will probably take months, because before she would come in the morning and have breakfast with the kids and brought them to school, and then took care of them after school. But now she likes to come by every day and just to have something to do and to see the kids. They're really grateful to see her almost every day. She's like a third parent. But yeah, she does need to be very mindful of her energy, and so she does enough that's beneficial for her recovery, but we have to make sure that she doesn't overstretch it. But yeah, I think we manage quite well, the 3 of us. Yeah, that's it for now, I think. And tomorrow I will definitely sit down and record a podcast, because it's a long time overdue. I wanted to do it in the vacation time, but then life happened, of course. We were busy, and somehow I didn't take the time to actually do it. And I've got lots to tell you also from my vacation in France. Of course, I bought some yarn, and I will show you some new things that will come up in my Etsy shop, because I've been really busy for sewing for a shop update. So let's see you tomorrow.